I would not be surprised at all.
Did you know that your Betaflex one here actually has a 360, and I've actually seen that TOS update, and I was pretty damn disappointed that, I want to continue using my 360. The only real means of being able to play any of the later games that do come out, if there's any that are of interest, for starters, Saints Row the 3rd. It's like, okay, now I got to basically sign my soul to the devil and accept slavery in order to continue with my 360.
You know, I'm certain that there already have been updates where they basically just put it in there because they know that half the population of half the owners of their console basically don't read the text because they know they think, at the very least, that there's information there that's just going through form and form.
Yeah, this is one thing I kind of hate about terms of service agreements, is that it's pissed me off about any agreement at all, is that they fill it with so much boring legalese VCR instruction text that people, gamers, even I included in this, just skip it and click accept because there's so much shit to read and you don't want to bother with it. You want to play your goddamn game. And if you actually read the fine print, you'll find stuff that kind of is like, even if you do read the TOS agreements, you're reading this weird legalese mumbo jumbo that you don't really understand a damn thing about. It's just like, and they can't really put it in simple terms because legal shit is so goddamn complicated. You have to put it in complex legalese. You can't just say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Oh, okay, I won't do this.
I'll tell you why they put in legalese. It's because if they were to put everything in layman terms, people would be questioning them over the top. And if you need proof of it, just look at EA with Origin. Just look at Microsoft. In fact, I'm not gonna dump my damn rant. Get that freaking nuke siren going. If you want to hear what the fuck is going on, these assholes know exactly what they're doing. They're not playing stupid. They do the legalese because they know very well people aren't going to read this shit. So therefore, they can shove in wherever they damn well please.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, and with Microsoft and the Xbox, that's just a prime example. Never mind EA and Origin because they're completely clusterfucking trying to find a way to make a legalese of their own so that they can ban people because of something on the forums that doesn't even involve them in the first place. Microsoft is taking it to the next level. I'm an Xbox user. I like my Xbox. I'm not an Xbox fanboy, but I like my Xbox. I had it since I turned 21, thanks to my dad. It was a birthday present. So yes, I've had an Xbox for about 4 years. I find nothing wrong with the damn thing. But I'm getting pissed off about the fact that I basically have to surrender my damn rights to take action because Microsoft doesn't know how to protect the damn shit. It's like, oh, too bad. You racked up the debt because of a hacker. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft ends up staging a hack attack of their own, just so they can have this type of thing happen and test pilot this whole legalese bullshit of, oh, you can't class action us. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a hack attack. Whether they stage it, they hire someone to do it, or someone just does it. I really wouldn't be surprised. But let's go into something bigger about the gaming industry in general. It's going to shit. People need to wake up. It's going to shit. Just look at what keeps getting pumped out. There's all the stupid shit that's produced by by the bigwig publishers that really need to go out of business, for better or for worse. And then you got the major console producers that aren't doing any better. Microsoft basically proving itself with its latest TOS. People need to really stop buying these damn games. Pull out the damn Sega Genesis. Pull out the damn Super Nintendo. The Sony PlayStation. Go to your thrift stores and your antique shops and get the good old classic games. I know we have a Dragon's Den in just about 20 minutes from here. And they actually sell Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Dreamcast even. It's like people need to stop just buying the latest flavor of the month shooter, the latest flavor of the month fighter, the latest flavor of the month flavor of the month, the latest month of the flavor that is the flavor of the month that is my month. Fuck that shit. Alright? People need to stop buying this shit because the more people feed into it, acting like, oh, this is all we gotta stick to the trends. The more they feed into it, the more these assholes are just gonna keep throwing their legalese out, they're gonna keep fucking the people over, just as you've seen with SOPA, just as you see with EA and Origin, just as you've seen with Microsoft, just as you've seen with Sony, because I'm pretty sure they had to update their TOS to deal with this type of shit. You're just gonna keep seeing more and more of these bigwigs fucking you over and trying to make it impossible to actually enjoy yourself and play a game. This is why even though I do have a Battle.net 2.0 account, which does house a lot of my games, I'm an opponent of that still. Just because I have it doesn't mean I'm not an opponent. I fucking hate it. Because, for one thing, if something happens to my account, oh, there goes all my shit. Despite I have the fucking boxes. That's why I actually like having boxes with the games. And that's the sad thing about the PC generation, is that it's all, gotta go through Steam, gotta go through Origin, gotta go through some clusterfuck out there. It's like, what's wrong with just having a fucking box of the game? What's wrong with being able to play single player? In fact, I will also admit I have the D3 beta. I'm into D3 beta, and I fucking hate how you have to actually be online to play Diablo 3. You have to be online. They will not let you play it unless you log in. And if you can't log in, you can't play D3. And for someone that has a really shitty internet, that Chaz, Kota, Avalanche, Matorant, Zenev, I can name a whole ton of people that know exactly my internet sucks balls.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, pigeon. It's this. How am I going to enjoy this game? I can't, because my internet is that shitty. Now, granted, of course, I'm going to the Navy, which means I probably won't have all the time necessary to play something like Diablo 3, but that's a whole story of its own. The point being is that for people that don't have a decent internet, that can't support themselves, you get fucked. And for the people that do have the money and the resources that aren't going out there and standing up and saying, this is bullshit, we gotta stop this, fuck you guys, because you're supposed to be out there doing your damn part, putting a stop to this, because you have the damn resources, you have the damn ability to do it. Yeah, for a lot of people that just don't have the money, that don't have the resources, how are they expected to stand up and say, okay, enough is enough? They can't. Now, of course, there's one thing we can do in the video game market, and people need to do this, which I'm going to say. For the video game market, I mean, if you want to go politics, that's a whole different story. Feel free to hook me up on Skype for that one. It's like, if you want to do something about the video games, anyone can really deal with video games, because there's one thing you have to do. Stop buying the shit. Go back to your classic games. Go back to even, I'm not even talking Atari. I'm talking, you can even go as far as PS2. Just go to something where you don't have to be online, where you can enjoy the game on your own. I can name you a ton of games for a whole ton of systems that you should probably try and play.
And there are a lot of emulators of the old
So
that you don't have easy to get.
So to simplify that wonderful, sexy rant by Betaflex, what he's pointing out here is that the game, what we've been pointing out actually the entire episodes here, is the game industry has become a walking douche magnet. If anyone's been with gaming, like, for as long as we have, if you've been around since the goddamn days of Pong, or even the original NES, like most of us are right now, I've been around.
Hail to the brothers out there with that feeling.
I've been with video games since like a year or so after the NES was released, when I was 4 years old. And Nintendo, I loved Nintendo. Nintendo was like the coolest thing ever. And then there was Sega, and I liked Sega as well. But I'm going to focus on Nintendo because that's what I was going for. Nintendo, it's like I wrote into these people. I had Nintendo Power magazine. I read all their letters. I drew artwork to them, you know, of my favorite characters. I wrote letters to them. I got responses from the president of the Nintendo fan club, Gail Tilden. I don't even know if he still is the president of the club at this point. But it's like, you know, Nintendo was pretty damn close to me in a kid sense. Nintendo was like that big brother you looked up to. It's like, I want to be like them when I grow up.
Yeah, they were like,
and
that was very creepy. By the
and
way.
then, you know, it's like I'm older now. It's like I've seen Nintendo's faults. You know, I don't agree with a lot of shit they do. I even rage at them at some point in regards to how they handle online gaming and other certain things. It's like, Nintendo, get it through your asses. Stop doing this. But they still end up making some really fun games, and it's just, you know, it's a love-hate relationship. But in other words, I still have that respect I had from them when I was a kid. And then when I read that they were supporting SOPA, I felt, I saw my like 4-year-old child self standing next to me, looking at the screen, just going, what the hell? Why did mommy hit me?
I thought it was Big Brother.
Why did Big Brother hit me? Why does he not love me anymore? That just, it fucking depressed me. I mean, I understand that from a business standpoint, you know, Nintendo wants to stock curb piracy and whatnot in their games. But of course they're going in the wrong direction with it. And of course the ultimate truth is that you cannot stop piracy. If you want to curtail it, you need to give the pirates a reason to buy your shit. And that's a problem that a lot of these DRM anti-piracy things that go on with companies like EA and Ubisoft and insert developer here is going wrong about. And it's like, games are fucking expensive. Back in the day of the Nintendo era, the Super Nintendo era, how expensive were games? How much were they? $30, $40 at most? That's how much they used to be, right, guys? I remember going to fucking to the Target that was near my house when I was like 10 or 12 years old, and I had $20 on me, and I remember seeing Tetris Attack for the Game Boy for like under $20. I'm like, I'm gonna get that. And nowadays, even the portable games are barely $20 unless they're used at GameStop or some other retailer that has used games.
And especially considering that the value of the money these days has diminished quite.
Yeah, it doesn't help. And rising game prices, I can only assume is a telltale sign of how fucked up the economy is getting. I mean, sure, technology is getting a bit more expensive and other things, but it's like there's a lot of things that are in the dark or behind the curtains that we either don't see or can only assume is affecting this kind of thing, like prices and whatnot. Or maybe it is just flat out greed. Maybe the costs of making a game are cheaper than we realize, and they're just keeping the price up to $60 fucking or so, just so they can get more money in their pocket and live the life of Riley.
Those are fucking
just look at Capcom, for example. I have to say Capcom and Activision on top of this, because going back to that point, Chaz, Capcom, I've seen them with Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, the
SF4
DLC.
and MVC 3.
Yeah.
They release these Ultimate Editions that are clearly just DLC. You get a few new characters,
Yeah.
a few new maps, that's it. Guess what? It's a full game for $60.
Yeah, that's
DLC.
As total bullshit. I can't believe I forgot to add that into here. Yeah, Capcom's DLC bullshit that's good job, Capcom. You're getting close to being like EA, just in another respect. You don't put a $40 to $60 price tag on something that can easily be put in as DLC. You added in. How many new characters were in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
What, 5, 6?
6 new characters. They're very interesting characters, I might add, but that doesn't justify.
The Phoenix Wright one was bullshit, by the way.
I like the Phoenix Wright thing. I thought that was probably the most unique character I've seen, but it does not warrant the price tag of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. What's even worse is that after they release Ultimate DLC versus 3, is that they announce almost immediately the Heroes and Heralds mode, I think it was. They announced a DLC, a very anticipated mode that if they had just set a couple more months of development or something, I'm pretty sure, to just tweak it and get it in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, then that might have warranted the price, possibly, a new mode, but instead I think it was something to do with, their contract running out with Marvel or something, and that's why they had to do this, which, I don't know, I think that's kind of bullshit.
Or they could have just been, nice folks like the ones that I used to remember, and they could have just made,
Actually, their contract running out with Marvel. That's a stupid excuse, especially when you say you have DLC planned.
We got noise in the background.
Kota.
Kota.
Kota.